I'm only 91. Baxter's the 93.
We had no frills of any kind. When my brother and I were getting toward manhood, why, I was always embarrassed by the fact that I had a suit coat, but all I had was a jacket to wear over it, and that looked kind of silly. So I went downtown to a cheap place, and I got an overcoat for $7, and we hung it in the front hall closet, and my brother and my dad and me wore it.
Well, I can remember back to 1929 because I was I was born in 1918, so I was 11 years old then, so I can remember a few things.
So my brother had, after he got out of high school, he got this job delivering groceries for the store, grocery store. And he did that for a year, and then when I was finishing up my 2 years in Milwaukee, I got his job. So I peddled groceries for a year. And each of us got $15 a week, 6 days a week, 8 hours a day.
There was a man working for the Capital Times as a reporter, Sterling Sorensen, and he came from our town, and so he thought he would come and see some of the new students, and he found out that I was 15 and checked in, said, "Oh, I don't think there's anybody younger than you here." So he wrote up a nice little article for the paper and took my picture. So that was my first realization that I was the youngest student here that year.
I suppose we felt a little underprivileged when we were in Wauwatosa because some of those people had money there, but some of them, their dads had lost their jobs too. But I didn't have the money to go to all the shows that they went to. Well, I'm not so sure I missed anything either. We had to devise our own entertainment. Baseball was one of them.
I do always remember that at Rennebaum's I got 18 cents an hour, and there was a little brown envelope at the end of the week, and sometimes there would be a little money in there, but if I'd bought some toothpaste or we had decided we really needed a malted milk, there wouldn't be very much left.
I remember when we were up in this little town of Boyd, 500 people. I think our rent was $15 a month, but that included a barn and a chicken house and enough space to have a garden. Had a neighbor down the road that he took our he stole our potatoes, and he put the tops back in. Tried to cover up his tracks that way.
There was a newsboy that stood on the corner of State and Lake and sold newspapers every afternoon, and he was, I think, from down in the Greenbush area, Italian kid, and he was always so friendly, and he'd always want to know if I was getting through work at Rennebaum's, could he walk me home? So he'd walk me across the street. Of course, I don't think I ever bought a newspaper from him, but he was there every day. I've always liked being a volunteer. When I was down here at school, my sister was majoring in social work, and they had classes for the mothers on Saturdays down at the neighborhood house on Regent Street, the old neighborhood house. There were two women that ran that, and the social work students were teaching the mothers things that they needed to know, but they needed somebody to look after the children while the mothers were in the class. So I was drafted, I guess, but I really loved working with the little kids, and I think that's what really got me to think that I really wanted to go and learn to be a kindergarten teacher.
After high school, I had to stay out a couple of years and work. And my folks could not afford to send me here, so I came out here with money I saved up, which wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough to get me started, and that's all you needed. Get started, and then you find your way after that.
And was the tuition $27.50 a semester when you came?
$27.50, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. it's quite different for making out a check for that amount than what it is today. During the Depression, I think people just didn't buy very many things. You just didn't expect to, and our expectations were so different. And I think that's carried over into our life today. We don't expect to have everything that everybody has. And when we get something, I think we appreciate it a lot more, and we're more aware of the help that people need nowadays.
During the Depression, up in Bangor, of course, we'd already moved from there, but there was a Baptist minister in town, and there was also a banker. And of course, the Baptist minister would get into the bank once in a while, and he knew this banker who had bought. He knew darn well these farms were going to go under. He bought them. That's how we got started today, making loans. You know darn well they couldn't be repaid, and so they foreclosed. And this guy acquired quite a few farms in this way. The Baptist minister saw him in the bank one day, hauled off and hit him. So it was probably the Christian thing to do.